Next Sunday, with the family business gone and her marriage failing,
Janet, wait.
the spirit from a generation past returns with hope.
You need to be home.
The journey back rekindles memories, and a near tragedy brings the family together again.
In the presence of love, there are miracles.
You have everything. You have each other. You have children.
And together, they had an old-fashioned Christmas. Lee Remick and Angela Lansbury star in The Gift of Love, A Christmas Story, next Sunday.
The buffalo wolf, hunted to the verge of extinction. Can one man save them from being wiped off the face of the earth? The story tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
Was this the first late-night talk show? The first host? The first live band? Scientists can't be sure, but at least they know what the next late-night talk show will be like.
Hi, I'm Pat Sajak. Join me starting January 9th.
Make a break for the Pat Sajak Show, late nights on CBS.
This is CBS.
Hey kids, don't miss the excitement when the Muppet Babies Where's Animal comes to the Onondaga County War Memorial January 4th through 8th. To help celebrate the fun, PNC the Price Champion and WTVH 5 invite you to opening night January 4th with all tickets half price. Muppet Babies reserve seat tickets on sale now at the War Memorial box office and all Ticketron outlets. Don't miss PNC and WTVH 5 half price night of the Muppet Babies Where's Animal. See you opening night January 4th.
And so we're offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92.
The men of the Bernie Schmidt Singers set the proper mood for our Christmas Eve programming on TV5. Please join us at 7 for Christmas in Central New York, featuring Pastor Nelson Gates and Monsignor Robert Lavin. And at 11, be part of the 20th edition of Time of Wonder, Time of Joy, with Ron Curtis, his family, and friends.
Merry Christmas to you.
We cordially invite you and your family to spend Christmas Eve with us here on TV5.
Simon & Simon, weekday afternoons at 4 on WTVH 5.
Just ahead from News Center 5, Onondaga Nation officials deny reports that another fugitive is harbored there. Hotel Syracuse employees to sit down with management in a meeting with the mayor. And the biggest weekend of violence hits the Israeli-occupied Arab lands as the PLO refuses to stop the uprisings there.
And in sports, the NFL playoff picture is almost set. The story coming up on Sports Plus in 20 minutes. But first, News Center 5.
Lynn Houston, Tracy Davidson, and Mike Tirico. This is News Center 5.
Good evening to you and welcome to our news. Tonight, Onondaga Indian chiefs say that to the best of their knowledge, fugitive Indian Eddie Hatcher is not on the Onondaga Indian Reservation. Last week, Timothy Jacobs was arrested in Madison County. Jacobs and Eddie Hatcher, both of North Carolina, are accused of taking employees of a North Carolina newspaper hostage at gunpoint 10 months ago. Both say they took the action because of corruption in Robeson County, and they fear for their lives if they return to that area. Jacobs has been staying on the reservation as he awaits extradition proceedings. Reports today by Associated Press said Hatcher had joined Jacobs on the reservation, and several people were not pleased with that report. Contacted today, Jacobs' attorney indicated he expected the situation with Hatcher to be resolved shortly. Onondaga County Sheriff John Dillon was not informed with Hatcher's movement, and he was upset with the report that Hatcher was here.
Yeah, a little bit, because it could lead to some nasty complications. If we came across this man, stopped him, didn't know who he was, he could be dangerous, and lots of things can happen.
Tomorrow, the Onondaga Indian chiefs will issue a statement regarding the Hatcher situation. A 58-year-old Auburn man is dead following a tractor-trailer pickup accident in the Cayuga County town of Mentz last night. Sheriff's deputies say James Wright died when the pickup truck he was driving struck a tractor-trailer that was attempting to back up on Centerport Road. The driver of the rig, John Corey of Ohio, has been charged with unsafe backing and driving with improper lights. Striking workers at the Hotel Syracuse are walking into their 11th week on the picket lines. A meeting is set for tomorrow at City Hall with Mayor Tom Young. But in the meantime, customers continue to turn away.
Well, we have rooms that people reserve here. We're from out of town. Should we leave? We'll leave. That's it. All right.
It would be very nice if you went to the Holiday Inn.
The strike began October 6th, but hotel management and striking workers have been feeling the pinch ever since. It is hoped tomorrow's meeting with the mayor will help bring the two sides together.
Maybe we can...
Well, we hope something good comes of it. We don't expect it too much, but we do hope. If nothing good comes of the meeting with Murphy, maybe the city will step in and help out.
The strike has idled 150 hotel employees and centers around economic issues and charges of union busting. Is this country spending enough money to keep the nuclear weapons plants safe? A Reagan administration official says no. Energy Secretary John Harrington says the department budget is millions of dollars short of what is needed for safe operations. But interviewed this morning on NBC's Meet the Press, White House Chief of Staff Kenneth Duberstein claimed the department's budget for 1990 is enough.
Is that you can either do it through new spending and additional money, or you can take some unobligated balances that are still there in the Energy Department and make sure that you get them directly. Mr. Harrington, did you know about those? Mr. Harrington suggested that he wanted some additional spending rather than going in to the Energy Department resources and looking for some money, which we have done.
Secretary Harrington sent a letter to the White House asking for more money for the department. The 9 Mile 1 nuclear power plant has been out of service for a year now, and that's costing Niagara Mohawk a lot of money. Now a deal is in the works to suspend replacement power costs until the plant goes back online. The proposal would mean NIMO customers would not be billed, at least right away, for the additional costs the company will pay to replace electricity normally generated by that facility. The proposal must still be approved by the State Public Service Commission. Overseas now, a PLO official repeated today that Yasser Arafat's pledges against terrorism do not cover attacks against Israeli military targets and the continued uprisings against Israeli troops in the occupied Arab lands. That today from Shala Khalaf, an aide to Arafat, who says those actions continue until the Palestinian flag is raised over Jerusalem. In Cairo today, Arafat met with Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak. The meeting is part of Arafat's attempt to strengthen relations and open up communications for peace between the Middle Eastern countries. A contrast of opinions today from Israeli officials. The former United States ambassador to Israel says Arafat is lying when he says he accepts Israel's right to exist and that the PLO will stop terrorist acts. And he says the U.S. decision to talk to the PLO is a contradiction.
That they have abandoned terrorism. And 2 weeks ago, your Secretary of State refused entry to Yasser Arafat into the U.S. because of his personal involvement in numerous terrorist incidents and acts of murder. Now, what has changed in the last 2 weeks? Not acts of terror. They're carrying them on all the time. What has changed, I'm afraid, is the U.S. position, and you've walked away from that agreement.
But Foreign Minister Shimon Peres says he is willing to give Arafat more time to convince PLO members to change their ways. As the debate continues, 3 more Palestinians were killed this weekend in rioting along the Gaza Strip. It was described as the worst weekend of violence in the year-long uprising among Arabs in the Gaza. Observers feel the violence is in response to U.S. talks with the PLO. In the Soviet Union, rescue teams from this country have arrived home, made up of American doctors, fire and rescue specialists, and even some trained dogs. The teams help to assist in the rescue efforts in the aftermath of Armenia's earthquake. And Moscow officials now say the next step is restoring housing and industry to that area. Officials say that for the next 48 hours, snow and colder temperatures will be moving in, making housing more critical. A team of seismologists from the U.S. is to arrive there this week to give Soviet officials ideas on how new housing can be built to give more protection in the event of a quake. As the final days of 1988 dwindle away, local manufacturers are calling on Governor Cuomo to make good on a promise. The Manufacturers Association of Central New York is worried that the state's budget problems may delay the scheduled state tax. The group says thousands of manufacturing jobs are at risk if that cut does not go through.
If we don't get our taxes down, our personal income taxes down, it's going to be a less attractive place for people to move. Number 2, if our taxes keep increasing, it makes manufactured goods cost more. And the more they cost, again, the less competitive we are.
The group feels the budget crunch can be eased by reducing state spending, not by doing away with something that will help manufacturers. There is just one more week left to complete your Christmas shopping, and as Donna Spezielli reports, the pressure was on today at area malls.
Sickle the lamb to the shepherd boy. Do you hear what I hear?
What could be heard today at area malls was the sound of cash registers. It happens every year. 12 months to prepare for the big day, but somehow it's never enough time.
I have been doing it for about 2 weeks, and I'm trying to finish it up today.
Not in the least.
How come?
Because of the simple fact there's too many people in my family.
For those who managed to fight the crowds, there were plenty of good bargains to be found today as stores marked down their prices just before Christmas.
Yeah, there's quite a few good bargains. I think the closer you get to Christmas, the better things are, really, to tell you the truth. It looks like they're obviously doing a lot of business here.
Well, we bought, there's a lot of sweaters on sale at Penny's, and we were into the sports stores and buying sportswear and things for some of the relatives.
As shoppers spend the final days in the hustle and bustle, they vow this won't happen next year. But believe it or not, there are those that actually like the pressure.
No problem. 23rd, 24th, crunch time, we'll perform. Trust me.
If you're not that confident, take heart. You have 6 days left. That's roughly 60 hours in shopping time. Donna Spezielli, News Center 5.
And still to come, some clearing in the 5-cast. We'll tell you when. The winning lottery numbers. The daily number, 883. The win 4 combination, 6, 3, 7, and 4.
Arnold Schwarzenegger enters the realm of comedy opposite Danny DeVito in the new movie Twins. I'm Dennis Cunningham, coming back with a single review.
You know those guys who sell umbrellas in the street? When it's nice out, $3. When it's raining, $10. That was never George F. Johnson's style. Here it is, boot weather, Endicott Johnson's having a sale. On flip-flops? No. On boots. And that's not all.
Now, every shoe, every purse, every can of polish, everything for the whole family is on sale at Endicott Johnson. Everything.
At Endicott Johnson, you might need a hard hat, because the prices are really coming down.
If Santa isn't in your favorite store, he's probably in his, Faye's, snapping up values like these. Delicious Whitman Sampler, the 1-pound assortment is only $3.88, limit 2. Revlon Charlie or Jean 2 Cologne Spray are just $5.99. And the Vidal Sassoon Special Effects 3-in-1 crimping iron is only $8.77 after rebate.
Shop Faye's full-color circular today, just loaded with last-minute gift ideas for everyone on your Christmas list. Come to Faye's, obviously not your average Christmas store.
People think the Huxtables are some special kind of family, but we're just a regular family like yours. So watching us won't get your teenager to give you back the keys to the car, and it won't get your dog to walk himself. All it'll do is give us time to get together and enjoy ourselves 5 times a week. By the way, did you ever get your keys back? If you had the time, I'd love to hear how you did it. Join us Monday through Friday on The Cosby Show here on WTVH TV5.
Why don't we hit that party on the other side of town? We can be there in 20 minutes. Let's step on it. Let's go.
You drink, you drive, you die.
Thousands of teenagers and young adults die every year because of driving drunk. Together, we can keep them alive.
Get the facts about AIDS. Call the New York State Health Department's AIDS hotline.
Well, as far as our weather, we've got a real mixed bag. Let me tell you more about that. Our high temperature today was 25 degrees. That was at 1:30 this afternoon. The current temperature of 15 degrees is our low for the day. And the records for this date, 58 degrees in 1921, minus 13 in 1919. So I guess we were lucky if you want to consider it that. Precipitation today, 22/100ths of an inch. For the month, 72/100ths of an inch. For the year, 33.24 inches. And translated to snowfall, that means 4.9 inches today. For the month, 21.3 inches. And for the season, 27.2 inches. patches. Present conditions around the Syracuse area, partly cloudy skies, the temperature once again of 15 degrees, the barometer at 29.94, relative humidity at 83%. The winds out of the southeast at 6 miles an hour. And taking a look at the TV5 viewing area, Old Forge reporting 2 degrees in flurries at this hour. Auburn and Geneva reporting the warmest temperatures tonight with partly cloudy skies, 22 degrees. Ithaca, 19 degrees and cloudy skies. Oswego, cloudy and 14. And taking a look at the current satellite weather map, a snow advisory is in effect for western New York counties of northern Erie and Niagara for 2 to 4 inches of new snow overnight. Otherwise, across the northeast tonight, it's going to be cloudy with a few partly cloudy patches. Clear to cloudy over the south, and much of the southwest is cloudy due to the low pressure located there. Southern California also feeling the effects of that same low. Rain is covering the northwest. And by tomorrow afternoon, it will be cloudy over nearly all of the northeast, continued clear in the southeast, cloudy over the northern plains, snow in the Rockies all the way down to the southwest. In Southern California, it'll be covered by clouds, and the northwest will clear out for a change. And now the 5-cast for tonight, mostly cloudy with periods of snow, accumulations 1 to 2 inches, the low around 20. Westerly winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour. And for tomorrow, periods of clouds and sunshine, the high of 34 degrees, southwest winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour, and the extended 5-cast, Tuesday, mostly cloudy with the high of 44. And Wednesday, rain or snow likely, a high of 36. Thursday, partly sunny and colder with a high of 28. Friday, snow likely and a high of 27. On a lighter note tonight, the latest movie out from Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger is called Twins. But reviewer Dennis Cunningham feels the movie comes out only half-baked.
Twins is a bit of a cheat as a movie comedy. Well, its big joke in its advertising is about 2 brothers who are twins, though they look nothing at all alike. I'm sure you saw that. Except that if you see the movie, of course they don't look alike. We all know why they don't look alike. They're not supposed to look alike. And that's the movie's big joke. But you see, that points up a bigger flaw about the movie comedy called Twins. It doesn't want to be a mere movie comedy. It wants to be something more. Actually, it wants to be several things more. This story of 2 brothers, the very different results of a long-ago government experiment. Twins wants to be an action movie. And above all, it wants to be a drama to play upon the heartstrings as the movie turns into a road picture with each guy warming up to a traveling companion while being unknowingly involved in stealing a revolutionary fuel injection system for jet planes while on the trail of their true mother. What keeps it all moving fairly well, and it does move fairly well, is Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is comedy in bloom where there is comedy and totally charming throughout.
That's what I call fun. You see me with the 2 wheels?
Danny DeVito gives the Danny DeVito performance, which is okay if you haven't seen it too many times. The movie lists 4 different screenwriters, but it's so sloppy it seems more like 14 different screenwriters. Ivan Reitman is the director who supervises the sloppiness, and I think created a bit of his own. Well, anyway, the movie's harmless. It won't hurt you. It might entertain you now and again. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is very good as he keeps expanding his movie horizons. The movie Twins is a final 5. Yes, Twins is somehow half the fun. I'm Dennis Cunningham for CBS News.
And while we're on the subject of twins, if the Christmas rush has you seeing double, take a look at this.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Oh, no, it's not done with mirrors. It's the annual Twins and Triplets Christmas party at the Reformed Church on Teal Avenue in Syracuse. And for some parents, double trouble can be twice the fun.
I see double every day. At the age of my girls, it's easier because they'd rather have the same item. So it makes Christmas shopping a lot easier. I'm sure when they get older, it'll be a little more difficult trying to find something to separate the 2.
Even Santa was doing double takes when he arrived, but the kids loved it, especially when he wished them all Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Central New Yorkers may be donning the gloves and scarves to keep warm. And it's not so in another cold area, though. In Italy, dozens of scantily dressed swimmers voluntarily jumped into the Sea of Genova. Jumping into the frigid water is part of a traditional winter event there. And after the swim, well, you guessed it, the swimmers gladly accepted towels and blankets and heaters, and maybe even a cigarette or two from the supporters. And just ahead from News Center 5, Sports Plus with Mike Tirico. And he'll have tonight's NFL picture, what it means for the playoffs. Stay with us.
No matter what you do this holiday season, you'll want to stop and take time out for Highland's Holiday Sale with some of the lowest prices of the year. Like $99 for a Sony long-range cordless phone with digital security codes and $167 for an Iowa Dolby B dual cassette deck with high-speed dubbing. Highland's Holiday Sale ends Saturday, so don't be left out in the cold.
Hi, I'm Mary Ray Dopke. On behalf of the Television Home Finders Guide crew, here's wishing you and yours the very best for a happy holiday season.
Next time on Family Ties, Jennifer bucks the system.
Huckleberry Finn isn't on the approved reading list.
This is the book report I'm going to give.
That's our girl. The Keatons are backing her all the way.
Great.
Including old Alex.
No local school board shall remove books from school library shelves simply because they dislike the ideas contained in those books.
How did you know that?
I know everything.
They've only just begun the fight on Family Ties.
Monday at 7:30 on WTVH 5.
The Marines have always been known for saving the day, from Montezuma to Tripoli, from Quezon to Iwo Jima. But perhaps the most important day they've ever saved has been Christmas with Toys for Tots. This year, give a new unwrapped toy for Christmas and help the Marine Corps Reserve save the day again.
Childhood is a special time, a time of wonder and innocence, a time for fun and games, for shouts and laughter. Childhood is a time when children are happy, safe, and secure. At least, that's how it should be. Learn how to protect your child against sexual abuse. Write to Say No, Box 2000, Albany 12220.
Welcome to Sports Plus, everybody. I'm George Casteres. Mike Tirico's taking the night off. For the most part, the playoff matchups in the NFL are set, and we're going to start in the NFC this evening, where at the beginning of the day, the playoff picture for the Giants looked very clear. But the Jets, your Eastern Division champs, but Joe Walton's crew didn't play Santa Claus. Let's go to the highlights of this one. In the second quarter, the Jets' Kenny O'Brien passes to tight end Mickey Schuler for the touchdown, and the Jets take the 10-0 lead. The Giants will come right back, though, with 10 seconds left in the half. Phil Simms goes to Stephen Baker for the touchdown, and the Jets are up 13-7 at the half. Then in the third quarter, Phil McConkey's back to field the punt. He fumbles it, and the Jets recover, but not for a touchdown, as it appears on the play here. So on the next play, the Jets will score anyhow. Freeman McNeil goes 6 yards for the score, and the Jets are up 20-7. But the Giants will rally. Simms with another touchdown pass that makes it 20-14. Then with 6 minutes left, Simms hooks up with Lionel Manuel to take a 21-20 lead. But then the Jets get a great kickoff return. They'll put together a good drive to set up the game winner. In the last minute, Kenny O'Brien to Al Toon for the touchdown as the Jets go on to spoil the Giants' playoff hopes. The Philadelphia Eagles coming in had to win to keep their division wildcard hopes alive. Today in Dallas, first half, Herschel Walker goes in for the touchdown, 7-0 lead for Dallas. But the Eagles will come back, adding a field goal. Then Randall Cunningham goes to his favorite receiver, rookie tight end Keith Jackson, and the Eagles take a 10-7 lead at the half. Second half, the Eagles just control the Cowboys. Another Cunningham touchdown toss. This one to Mike Quick, a 20-yard score, and the Eagles are doing their job. And a nice message from All-Pro Reggie White.
Tell Jeff, thank you!
Thank you, Reggie. So former Orangeman Don McPherson tastes victory for the second straight season, and his Eagle teammates get the NFC title. Let's go to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The Rams and the Niners. Tom Rathman gives the 49ers the 10-7 lead with this one-yard touchdown run. But with over a minute left in the first half, Jim Efford finds Henry Ellard in the back of the end zone for a 14-10 lead for the Rams. And as they go to the locker room in the first half, nice scramble by Everett and the touchdown catch by Ellard. In the third quarter, the Rams really open it up. Again, it's Everett on the rollout to the right. This time he hits Damon Johnson for the 31-13 lead as the Rams win this one 38-16. They really thumped the Niners tonight. Let's check out the playoff picture. In the NFC, the division champs are Philly, Chicago, and San Francisco. The wild card game will be Minnesota and the Rams. If Minnesota wins tomorrow night, they'll host the Rams. If they lose to Chicago in the Monday night matchup, then the Rams will host the West game on the West Coast. The scores from this afternoon: New Orleans beats Atlanta by a point, but they don't make it into the playoff. The Bucs salvage what otherwise was a pretty horrible season, beating Detroit 21-10, and Phoenix a loser to Green Bay 26-17. Well, that's the story in the NFC. Coming up next, it's the AFC playoff picture, where the East Division champ Bills making their trip to the Hoosier Dome, looking for a win and home field advantage. The highlights coming up.
This is Syracuse University head basketball coach Jim Boeheim. Join Johnny's, Mike Tirico, and me this Friday at 7:30 for Boeheim's basketball.
This week, we'll review the games against Canisius and Western Michigan and preview the Rutgers matchup.
Plus, we'll have all the regular features. So join us for Boeheim's basketball this Friday at 7:30 on TV5.
Boeheim's basketball is brought to you each week by 104.7 Kicks FM, classic rock and roll, and True Value Hardware.
This is a common everyday food processor. In the newspaper, it looks like this. On the radio, it sounds like this. On television, it looks like this. If television can make a common everyday food processor look like this, think what it can do for the products you sell. Television advertising means business. More business for you.
Call the sales professionals at WTVH.
There's no substitute for information. At News Center 5, we bring you more news in the news. It's more than our job, it's our promise to you.
News Center 5 at 5:30 and 6 o'clock.
On December 24th, join us at 7 for Christmas in Central New York. And at 11, meet the members of the Ron Curtis Chorale at Nicky's Downtown in Time of Wonder, Time of Joy.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. All right.
Remember your promise when you earned your basic nursing education to provide the best health care your training allowed. But nursing today demands a higher degree of knowledge and a more active role in determining the future of the profession. The Health Science Center's College of Nursing invites associate degree and diploma nurses to grow in the profession by earning a combined baccalaureate and master's degree through full or part-time study. You'll gain the skills needed to be a clinical nurse specialist and to keep pace with the demanding field. Let your future start with us today.
Welcome back to Sports Plus. Now time for the AFC pictures. The Bills have known for some time that they're going to the playoffs. The only thing they weren't sure of is how many postseason matchups they'd have at home. Well, they found out today in Indianapolis. They traveled to the Hoosier Dome, and on the opening kickoff, Ronnie Harmon fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by kicker Dean Biasucci, who later kicks a field goal to put Indy up 3-0. Both offenses can't get anything going until late in the second quarter. Jim Kelly will find Andre Reed wide open over the middle, and the Bills will take a 7-3 lead at the half. After a scoreless third period, it's Kelly and Reed hooking up one more time, this time for 7 yards. Bills take a 14-3 lead. Before today, Reed hadn't caught a touchdown pass in 9 games. Then the Colts come right back, Hogaboom to Matt Booza, and Indy is within 4 with 5 minutes left. And the Colts need a victory for a shot at the playoffs. They rise to the occasion. Forgotten back Albert Bentley with the touchdown grab for the score in the final minutes of the game as the Bills lose home field advantage by losing late to the Colts 17-14. In icy Cleveland, the Browns need a win to get a wild card spot. They host the Oilers without quarterback Bernie Kosar, and backup Don Strock gets off to a rocky start. The veteran with 3 interceptions two by Domingo Bryant, and the Houston defensive back takes this one back for a score. The Oilers up 10-0. After the Browns offense continues to struggle, the defense helped put some point on the boards. Warren Moon takes the sack, fumbles the ball, and Michael Dean Perry will pick it up and go in for the score. The Browns trail 16-7 at the half. But they do come back to life. Strzok going to Webster Slaughter for the game winner as the Browns knock off the Oilers and take the Colts out of the playoffs. In Los Angeles, the Raiders and Seahawks playing for the West Division crown. This one a score fest. Third quarter, Seattle's John L. Williams gets the screen pass. Dave Craig, he goes 75 yards for the score, 37-20 Seahawks at this point. The Raiders don't bail out, though. In the fourth quarter, Jay Schrader gets the Raiders within 6. He tosses a 54-yard bomb to Mervin Fernandez. L.A. trailing 40-34. The Seahawks will ice it, though, when Norm Johnson hits his 5th field goal of the day. Seattle up 43-34. Raiders try the Hail Mary pass at the end of the game. It gets batted away, and the Seahawks go on to win the West with a 43-37 victory over the L.A. Raiders. Let's check out the AFC playoff picture where everything is set. Houston versus Cleveland in the wild card game. That'll be next Saturday. The divisional playoffs, the Houston-Cleveland winner will go to Buffalo, and then Seattle will play at Cincy. The rest of the scores in the AFC this afternoon, the games that really don't mean much. San Diego loses or wins over Kansas City 24-13, and Miami gets thumped by Pittsburgh. Scott Schwades did have a really nice long catch that set up a Miami score in that game, though. The other end of the playoff spectrum is the teams with the worst records in the league, and who will get the top draft choice is UCLA quarterback Troy Aikman seems to be everybody's favorite #1 pick. Dallas, the #1 spot. They shuffle quarterbacks all season long, so they'll probably take Aikman #1. Then Detroit, Green Bay, Kansas City, and Atlanta 2 through 5, and they will pick obviously the next best players available in the draft depending on their needs. And, you know, with the teams like Detroit, Green Bay, Kansas City, and Atlanta, you never really know what's going to happen. That's the story in the NFL, and when we come back, it's the NBA and NHL, little basketball and hockey for you, including the highlights of tonight's Knicks and Celtics matchup. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Rocky, and I'm not from Texas. I'm from Syracuse. And I'd like to ask you a question. How'd you like to be rich? I mean really rich. Not in cattle or silver or gold, but in this ever-changing world we live in. Real wealth is peace in your heart. Now I'd like to challenge you. Tune into the Living Word broadcast, Sunday morning from 7 to 8 on WTVH 5. By the way, my Heavenly Father owns all the cattle on the hill.
The Marines have always been known for saving the day, from Montezuma to Tripoli, from Khe Sanh to Iwo Jima. But perhaps the most important day they've ever saved has been Christmas with Toys for Tots. This year, give a new unwrapped toy for Christmas and help the Marine Corps Reserve save the day again.
For the true joy of the holidays, give a gift to a person suffering from mental illness. Gifts will go to hundreds of area residents served by the inpatient and outpatient programs at Hutchings Psychiatric Center. A small present from you wrapped and brought to any Onondaga County North Star Bank office before December 22nd would surely bring joy to their world. We hope it brings joy to you, too. For gift ideas and more details, call the Public Information Office at Hutchings at 473-4980. Thank you and happy holidays.
My man died. Now they tell me it was AIDS. Hey, I didn't know anything about AIDS. And I didn't know he had passed the virus on to me either. Not until my baby was born with it. And all of this because my man was shooting up drugs and sharing needles. Please don't let this happen to you. You find out about AIDS.
Welcome. Sam turns on the charm.
I'll buy the bullets if you will pull the trigger.
Next time on
Cheers, Monday night following News Center 5 at 11:30.
Welcome back to the show. The honeymooners up in just a bit, but first some NBA and some NHL. It's been a long time since the Knicks have been atop the Atlantic Division with the Celtics trying to keep pace, but that's exactly the way it's going so far this season. And tonight, New York making a trip to the other Garden to take on birdless Boston. We'll pick up the action in the third quarter. Johnny Newman goes baseline and jams this one home. Look out, Kevin McHale.